Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Raider Sports. How are we doing today? So we got some late, big time breaking news. Ed Orgeron and LSU have decided to call it a divorce. They have reached a separation agreement that will end Coach O's 5-year tenure in Baton Rouge at the end of the 2021 season. And in those 5 years, LSU and Orgeron has won the 2019 national championship. But since then, as we all know, things have fallen way off. According to the agreement, Orgeron will receive his entire $17 million buyout. Means this was not an Orgeron move. This was a LSU move. That's what them just paying him to get out pretty much tells me, is that this is more LSU and less mutual of a separation. So, and although LSU won 49-42 over Florida on Saturday, it wasn't enough to, change this. This all seemed to have been in the works since last week after LSU lost to Kentucky, dropping them, 2-3. And once you're under 500, you can kind of see, the writings on the wall from there. And so really, the win over Florida was really null and void, because the loss to Kentucky was just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will. And if you're at LSU, you can lose to Florida, but you can't lose to Kentucky. It can't work the exact opposite way that it did. That's just how it is over there in LSU. It's Kentucky. You can't lose to Kentucky. There's a, prestige factor Kentucky doesn't have that Florida kind of does, even though right now Kentucky has been the kind of better team more or less for, let's say, the last 2 or 3 years, since Kentucky's really started this rise up the ranks of the Big Ten SEC from the pathetic bottom dweller that it was all throughout, the 90s, the early 2000s. But things are looking up for Kentucky, but losing to Kentucky was the straw that broke LSU's back. And Orgeron is now going to be out at the end of 2021. And since, 2019, Orgeron's, LSU Tigers, when they won the championship, they're 9-8. You just can't do that. You can't go from a championship to, 500 football and expect to keep your job. It's just not going to happen. And that's why, no matter what you might think about LSU beating Florida on Saturday, it really doesn't matter. But amazingly, since everybody in the West now does have a conference loss, what if LSU actually makes it to Atlanta? Like, if they somehow still beat Bama, somehow, and still makes it to Atlanta, and LSU then knocks off Georgia and makes, the Sugar Bowl or a BCS. That would be pretty wild to say, okay, you guys fired your coach in the middle of the season, and he still won you the SEC, won you the SEC West, won you the SEC championship game, and got you to a BCS Bowl. Would he then have pretty much any job he wants? And with USC's open up, and with Penn State possibly going to be opening up, Orgeron would be sitting there, counting his money as it rolls in from either one of those two. But anyway, and since Coach Orgeron has been with LSU, the team is 49-17. That's respectable. 30-14 in the SEC. Again, respectable, not exactly great, but he does have the national title. And this is not my list, but there is a list out there of the 11 best coaches to replace Orgeron. And those, not my list again, but I figured I'd just run it through you guys, see what you guys think. Number 1, Lane Kiffin, head coach at Ole Miss. Jimbo Fisher, head coach at Texas A&M, who has an absolutely massive contract. He's not going anywhere. Neither should Lane Kiffin. He's got something good going at Ole Miss. Number 3, Mario Cristobal. I think that might be an interesting thing if it wasn't the fact that Mario Cristobal is the premier head coach in the Pac-12 right now. And I think all the incentives that he's going to bank on every year, because Oregon's just flat out the best team there, those incentives might be worth just for Mario Cristobal to stay put in Oregon. Now here's probably my favorite candidate is James Franklin over at Penn State. And if you guys follow this channel, you guys know I am not a Penn State fan at all. But let me tell you something right now. The reason this James Franklin head coaching, opening is potentially so big is because I've never thought of a coach who could possibly have his pick of 3 of the biggest jobs in college football. He would be going with LSU, he would be going with USC, and he can still stay at Penn State and drive that bidding war up. You can go to Penn State. Okay, what's your number? Okay, USC. Here's Penn State's number. What are you going to give me to go? Okay, LSU. Here's USC's number, and he could just keep driving that up, and that would be absolutely amazing just to see how high that number for the services that James Franklin would go. Of course, no coaching position would ever be open without somebody dropping Urban Meyer's name in. He actually just won his first game as a pro coach today, beating my Miami Dolphins, which shows you we got to get rid of Tua. Anyway, that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. But Urban Meyer's on that list. Bob Stoops is on that list. I don't think Bob Stoops wants to coach anymore. He's been out of it for such a long time. I don't think he's really going to be too interested in coming back to coach. I think he's happy and comfy in his studio up in Fox. Then there's Joe Brady, the Panthers offensive coordinator. I don't know I don't know if he's probably looking for a pro job, I would assume, but that's a possibility to go if there are no pro jobs open, which I don't see. Because I do believe the Miami job is probably going to be open after the fact that the team is 1-5. Billy Napier of Louisiana Lafayette. That's probably the highest one you're going to see up there. Pretty much, that would be the favorite after James Franklin. Like if Franklin decides to go to, let's say, USC. Then it would go to Napier. Then it would go to the next name, Jamie Chadwell at Coastal, and then Bill Clark, who I don't know. He's such a UAB figure, bringing that team back from the dead and pretty much raising that team up to new heights and with realignment and everything. You never know where UAB is going to wind up, how good they're going to be, and what the potential market value for a team in Alabama is going to be. So he could have a big payday later than sooner, even if he doesn't get the LSU job. I think he's going to get a big payday even if he's still at UAB sooner or later. And then Jeff Traylor at Texas San Antonio. This is the name coming up. Obviously, it's just from all the sexy hype that's been going around and the fact that, the Roadrunners are 7-0. So these are just the 11 best coaching names. So who is going to replace Orgeron at LSU? That's for you guys to decide. And for LSU to decide that after the season. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I know I rambled this on a bit longer than I expected, but hey, sometimes you just gotta ramble, right? Big news. Orgeron is out. Who's in? Let me know in the comments.